So my name is Barbara. I'm a promotion agent for the official languages programs, and I'm here to talk to you about 2 or 3 programs that I think would be most beneficial for you and how to maximize your eligibility so that you can be a participant in our programs as much as possible, and possibly even a year if you have the time. So let's get started. Basically, the official languages programs, like our whole program has been around for around like 50 or so years. And its goal is to encourage the learning of our official languages, so French and English, as well as encourage exploring our vast country, Canada. I'm sure there are lots of people who have lived in Canada for many years but haven't been to maybe another province just because it's so big. And we're also here to offer an opportunity to work in a different language. Sometimes we're probably a little afraid to even speak a language, let alone work in it, just because we think maybe our job is really important. I don't want to lose it by just not being able to speak the language. So basically, we're going to be talking about 2 programs. So the first one is our Explore program. And our Explore program is a 5-week immersion program for everyone who is 18 plus. It's a 5-week immersion program that's paid for by the federal government. So that's pretty much free. And so we offer it during the spring and summer. So our spring and summer would be like from May until the end of August. And basically what it is you're learning by immersion. You're going maybe to a different province where you can immerse yourself in that language during some formal classes like phonetics and grammar, and then some more informal workshops like slang and texting, and other workshops like doing improv or drama classes, creative writing, choir, things like that. And then you'll also, after all of those activities in the evenings, you'll have things like maybe cooking classes, yoga, hiking, trips around the city or area. It really depends on like wherever you decide to do your Explore program. So what we cover is the tuition for the program. So because it's a university or college, they have bills to pay, and so that's the tuition. We also cover your meals. So in some cases, if you're with the host family, it would be like the food there, or it could be the cafeteria food at the university. Or in some cases, it's they would give you the cash while you're on campus, and then you would go buy your own groceries and maybe cook in a communal kitchen. So it really depends on, again, where you decide to go and do the program. And this also pays for where you're staying. So it could be with a house family, or it could be in a little dorm room in residence on campus. So you basically roll out of bed and go do your Explore program. And then also those activities I mentioned, like yoga and improv classes, all of those are also included with the funding. And so the 5-week program is valued at $2,800. So I don't know how long it takes some of you to earn that much if you have any like part-time jobs, McDonald's, working, or babysitting, anything like that. It takes a while to earn that much, but to have it just given to you and like already paid, you don't have to deal with the bills or anything. You just apply to the program and have someone pay for the cost of what you're doing during the summer. It's pretty easy and pretty fantastic, if you ask me. And so while you're there, you're going to go and experience a different part of the country while learning your target language. And you're going to remember this for years to come. And you might even end up taking my job and promoting it to others because you'll love it so much. All right. And in order to be eligible for our program, you'll have to be either a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. we do have some programs that are 16, 17, and then we have also our 18 plus programs. So it kind of depends on what age where you fall. Some people have birthdays at the end of the year, so they might be in the more 17 category. And then some of you are just graduating at 18 and thinking about a gap year. So we do have quite a few options for your ages. And you have to also be a part-time student or a full-time student. So that part-time or full-time status mostly matters to people probably who are getting to that point of they're either a college student or university student. But if you were in grade 12 during this school year and you apply for our Explorer program in 2022, then you should be eligible. All right, and so obviously, the reasons to participate would be to learn French. So I'm sure a lot of you here are English speakers, and you've had your own experiences with learning French in school. So this is a chance to actually use it with real people, not just use it on a test, not just use it to listen to recordings and then check a true or false box on your exam. This is to actually learn it, to use it, make it real, and actually live a Francophone experience, because you'll be around others who are either native speakers or are learning it just like you. And so that gives you a chance to make friends. These friends could be people who are learning it just like you. They come from all over Canada. They could be from Alberta, Manitoba, New Brunswick, anywhere. And they're all coming to this one location to take classes just like you, to participate in activities just like you. You're going to be living in the same spaces. You'll be seeing each other in the elevators. You'll be seeing each other on your residence floor. You'll be seeing each other around campus. You'll be going to these activities together. And you're going to really build a friendship that's going to last quite a while, and maybe even long enough that you'll feel comfortable reaching out when you're doing your cross-Canada road trip, and you'll have a couch to surf on. So you'll definitely be making friends that you'll probably want to keep in touch with for a long, long time. And it also gives you a chance to experience a different culture. So Canada is pretty big. And so in all those different provinces and territories, we have our own little pockets of culture, I like to say. The most obvious one we have is Quebec with their own francophoneness. But then each, even little areas, different areas, the rural and urban in Ontario, and the West Coast and East Coast, they'll have their own little regionalisms that you'll probably learn. And you also learn about those different Canadian pockets of culture when you meet people from those different areas. So be it from where you are that you're learning it because you're there, or because of people who bring their own culture, you'll be experiencing quite a bit of Canadian culture. And as I mentioned before, you will definitely be talking about this for years to come. You'll probably want to reapply and do this for many, many summers, and use your experience to put on your resume, to use it to apply to maybe another program. It could be for a job, it could be for a university, a college, it could be anything. And so this is something that's worth having and taking advantage of while you're still eligible for it, because nobody wants to be an in-school student forever. So this is a really good chance to take advantage of those student benefits, I like to say, because once you're not a student, they're done, and it's hard to get those back. All right, so next is the Odyssey program. This is our paid work experience. And so if you do the Explore program in, say, 2022, while you're eligible at preparing for your gap year, you can also apply to the Odyssey program to take care of your school year. So you can do the Explore program, then Odyssey, and then you could even do Odyssey again, Explore again, because if you participate in Odyssey, that makes you eligible for the Explore program. So pretty much that's a whole year. You could do Explore, Odyssey, and then Explore, and you have your whole year en français. But what is Odyssey? So Odyssey, like I mentioned, is a 9-month contract. So those 9 months would be from September to May. And then sometimes June, if there's like money in the school's budget or something, or they might like lengthen the contract. But most of the time, schools, like high schools, they have their exams in June, so they won't really need you. But the 9 months, September to May. And it's a paid professional work experience. So that's really important for some people out there, because sometimes you're getting experience in the school setting or with youth or something like that, but it's volunteer. And then you end up in this whole circle of some jobs only want you to have had paid experience in the field. So that's why we really like to reiterate that it's paid and it's professional work experience in an educational setting. So you can put on your resume saying, I worked for this school board for this amount of months. And I was paid for it. It wasn't volunteer, because paid means you have more responsibilities, and that looks much better than just volunteering and you just did this one little task over and over each week. So you're definitely going to have more responsibilities, but not as much as a teacher. I like to say being a language assistant is kind of like between being the student's friend and their teacher, because you're there to teach them something, but you're doing it more informally. So you're going to be bringing your own culture to this school, and you're going to be able to go and travel and work over there when many others might not even want. People probably won't even be your hometown. So it gives you a great opportunity. It's a stepping stone for your travels. It was a stepping stone for my travels, and for me to teach in Thailand and then go travel and do road trips everywhere. So it's a good stepping stone. If you're not sure about leaving the country and dealing with visas, this is a good first step. But in order to even want to apply the program, I'm sure you want to know what it is. So it is just, I like to say it's a game master, because you're not marking exams, you're not doing projects, you're not doing all that boring teacher stuff. You're kind of the friend, you're very informal, and you just get to play games. You play games with small groups. You can play maybe a big game with the whole class with the teacher present, so you don't have to worry about not being able to manage like a whole group of 25 teens or I don't know, kindergartners, because a teacher will be there if you have a large group. And so for our Anglophones, people who are going to teach English, you'll have the options of either primary, secondary, or their post-secondary, which is called Seizure. So it's like grade 12 and first year of university in one school. So that's the option that you would have in Quebec. Otherwise, our Francophone speakers, anybody who would be interested in teaching French somewhere else in Canada, you'd have primary or secondary to work with. And so you're just trying to bring your Anglophone or Francophone culture to these students, because for some of them, especially the ones in rural areas, they may have never ever been to the big city. They may have never ever spoken to somebody who speaks your language. And so this is the only chance for them to speak English with a real English speaker, not their English teacher, not their friends when they're being forced to speak English in a little group project. They're actually speaking to somebody who needs them to speak this language. So for them, it's a big deal. For some of them, it's a really, really big deal. They want to know if you can speak their language, so they can maybe tell secrets, or just they really test you. So it's quite fun to try and immerse them in English and get them to practice. So that whole real speaker gives them a lot of motivation to actually want to use language they've been learning for maybe 7 or 10 years or whatever long. And you get to do it again through all the things that maybe you grew up doing with your family, with your friends, on your own. So this could be doing art activities, games, sharing your music, and hosting clubs with like drama club, board game clubs, all these great things to make it more fun and interesting for them. And I did mention that it's paid. So when I did the first time in 2015, it was 18. So the pay has gone up. And so they're trying to make sure, it's something that you can live off of, because it's only 25 hours. But $25 per hour, and it's 25 hours in total per week, Monday to Friday. And of those 25 hours, 20 are like directly with the kids, or the students. So it could be in clubs at lunch, it could be clubs after school, it could be in class, in the hallways during your little activities. That's 20 hours with the students. And then 5 hours, you're getting paid to prepare your stuff. So cutting, pasting, going on Google to find the lyrics to your songs, practicing on the guitar. I'm not sure whatever activities you're going to think of, but you have 5 hours set aside just for your prep time, and you get paid for that. So in total, during the 9 months, it'll average around to a salary of $25,000, and a little more if your contract lengthened by the 1 month. And so some other benefits of just working for the Odyssey program in these school boards would be that we usually have a pan-Canadian training session, so you get to meet all the other monitors or language assistants from across Canada. We used to do it in person in Quebec City for like a weekend, and you get to meet everybody, exchange numbers, and like make friends and figure out who's going to be in your area, so you can go visit them, and then they can visit you, and you can like plan like your whole each weekend what you're going to do. But unfortunately, we are doing it online. We have hopes at some point in the future to bring it back to in person, but right now we're doing that online. And basically, it's a place where you not only meet other people who are going to be doing and sharing the same experiences as you, but they'll also be giving you a few activities to get started. Because you might be nervous, it might be your first time really ever teaching a language or working with youth. So it's a good training session to get a few of the tools you need to get going and to feel a little bit prepared for when you go to the school. And then later in the year, you get to catch up with all the people in your province through the provincial training sessions. And for anyone who was in the other sessions I was part of, the panelist one about traveling in 2022, you do have the chance to actually have your travel paid for. So there's a certain limit on each distance, but for example, I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but if you were to go between Ontario and BC, you might get $550 to go to BC, teach French there, and then you get the $550 to come home for the holidays, the winter break, and then your trip is also paid to go back to BC to teach for the second half of the year, and then your trip to go back home to Ontario, you'll get like a certain amount of money just to cover coming back home. So yeah, you get a travel allowance. And the last thing, because it's school, if there are no students, there's really no need for you to be there unless you want to like participate in some professional development with the other teachers. You can go in on PD days, but if it's a snow day, PD day, holiday, whatever the school, if there's no students, there's no need for you to be there, so you have it off. All right, and so you definitely need to have solid skills in the language you're teaching. So if you're going to teach English, you need to be super proficient in English. But when you go to Quebec, since you're going to be learning French, you can be very basic in your French abilities. That doesn't matter. And you need to be a Canadian citizen or permanent resident because this is a federally funded program. So they want to make sure that the funds are going to people who are residents, permanent residents, or citizens. And then lastly, in order to qualify, you have to have completed at least 1 year of post-secondary within the last 10 years. So you can show us your transcript as proof if you haven't completed your degree. You can just show us that first year of your studies or your third year, however, just to show that you've completed something. Or you can show us your degree or diploma. It has to have been completed within the last 10 years. And then there's some other desirable assets, just like working with children, volunteering, having already done some of the things that you're going to be doing is going to be more helpful for you, the students, and the schools, but it's not necessary. This is supposed to be giving you that experience. So we understand that not everybody's going to come with those, but if you show that you have potential in the interview to learn these skills and really shine as a language assistant, then it won't matter. So it's just more helpful. Yeah, so obviously this gives you a chance to travel because you can go to different provinces. You're going to get paid because it's 25 an hour. You're going to be gaining some real professional work experience, and it's not going to be just like volunteered stuff that some people dismiss, some people don't. I don't know. It just depends, but there's always that case. And you're going to be making a real big difference in these students' lives. You're going to be that mysterious person that they don't really understand because you speak too fast and they're not very proficient in the language yet. And they'll try to teach you some words, and it'll just be, you'll be somebody that they'll remember for a long time. Like, oh, I remember Madame Barbara. She didn't speak any French, but then at the end of the year, she said she started speaking French, and I was so shocked. That's kind of how it'll be. And so in order to participate, you have to apply. And so our portals are open right now. And you want to get all your applications for the Explorer program. You want those in by February 15th, 2022. And for Odyssey, it's February 28th. The applications will close May 31st for the Explorer program, just because at that point, you'll start getting too late to really do the paperwork and make the arrangements to go to wherever the institution is. And with Odyssey, for our English speakers, I really encourage you to get it in before February 28th or by that time. And because a lot of our English speakers, since it's so competitive, they're from Alberta, all over Canada, and they're just being funneled into Quebec and Francophone New Brunswick. The English side's pretty competitive. But we do accept applications throughout the year because sometimes people quit, they leave. Maybe they were waiting for a longer term job. Maybe they found it wasn't for them, whatever the reason, or the fact that French is in high demand. We do accept, we have a rolling application, like to say. So the latest we'll accept anyone would be January 31st. There we go. So slowly loading. So there's just a few pictures from my my own Odyssey and Explore experiences. But I know we have 7 minutes left. So I could go into that, but I think I'm going to see if there are any questions first. And if one of those questions is what your experiences were, then I'll go into that. But I want to make sure I can have time to answer some questions if there's any. All right, so in the chat I see, with requirement of a year post-secondary, that means it wouldn't be available for a gap year because grade 12 doesn't count. For Odyssey. All right. Yeah, so for some students, there are some students who I would say go into their first year of university or college and find it's not them. So this might be more suitable for those who are changing their mind, changing careers, and already did something. So for right after grade 12, it's just to kind of help keep a bit of an age gap too, because we don't want them, I guess, too close in age with the grade 12s. But yeah, at least a minimum of 1 year of college. We can't accept just high school diplomas. But for anyone who does find like this university life, college life isn't for me, this is kind of the alternative, because some people go into it and then change their mind because of whatever reasons. And so we're here to offer it up over there, either as after you finish your degree or you take a year off during your studies to go do something else. This is a great option, because not all parents are even really okay with just stopping mid diploma, mid studies for something completely different. Yeah, so that would be, I hope that answers that question. All right, so maybe if there are no other questions at the moment, I can still talk about my own experiences, or I could maybe take us to the application website if there are some who are a little hesitant on how to navigate that. I can also do that. Just write it in the chat, and I'll give you a little walkthrough, a really quick one. But yeah, basically these are my own experiences in Explore and Odyssey. So this was our end of Explore program like dance. It was a little semi-formal. We got to dress up, as you can see, and then take pictures in front of this fake Quebec background. We had a little table with little hats and scarves and all these little props for our photos. And during my Explore, there happened to be a summer music festival going on, and had a bunch of very random things in the street that you could, Instagram worthy things that you could go and interact with. So this is just a picture of me on the swings. And this is a picture of me doing my end of program improv show. So the workshop that I participated in was improv. And so at the end of on the week 5, pretty much, people from the program all over, even if they didn't do improv, beginner or advanced, they were all invited to come watch us as we battled it out in our little improv show. So I was on the red team, and you can see I'm doing a little scene against the blue team. And you probably can't see on the screen, but it was supposed to be about Putin. So yeah, that's just one of my friends must have snapped that while I was up there. And then these 2 pictures here from my Odyssey experience. For me, Odyssey was my first time really leaving the province and being on my own, arranging stuff on my own. So this is me on a snowmobile. It's my first time. I have been really, really wanting to go out in the snow. Something about snow really, really interests me. I don't know if it's what it is, but this was my first time on the snowmobile, and I was so excited. And this was my desk. I got to have my own little desk with the teachers where I could cut and paste and prepare all my activities. And we had a really heavy snowfall, and I decided I'd never seen this much snow before, but yeah, it had covered our windows, and I couldn't see out of the office for months. So yeah, northern Quebec, like, they get a lot of snow. All right, and so that pretty much brings me to the end of the presentation. You are very welcome to come and check us out on our website, which is englishfrench.ca. You can read more about our programs, go to the frequently asked questions, our FAQ, and maybe there are some questions you forgot to ask and realize you need to ask, and they're already there. So you can go check that out. There's a section for parents who might have questions, and then actual candidates or participants. You can find more information on our programs. And then you can also send an email to our general email here, and we'll try and answer your questions as soon as possible. Or maybe you're having an issue finding something for your application form. We're pretty good at trying to find solutions on how to help you. So we do want everyone to get a chance. So you can email us any questions, concerns, or issues you're having, or just say a big thank you to for presenting at my school, presenting at my expo, whatever. And we also have lots of social media. So you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and this is our handle. Yeah. All right. And yeah, I hope that was a very informative session for you. And I really look forward to seeing your applications. I'll be on the other end if you have parents who really need some convincing about the Explore program, because you can do Explore, Odyssey, and then Explore again, and that's pretty much a whole year of French. You can call us, and I'm here Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, ready to answer questions for any concerned mama bears or any inquisitive young potential Explore or Odyssey participants. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great evening and wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.